House Speaker Nancy Pelosi loves to go on the attack. But unfortunately, most of her attacks, at least those for the last 6 or 7 months, have not been against Donald Trump. They have not been against Republican obstructionists in the House of Representatives, and they haven't been against some of those centrist Democrats we have representing us who would feel more at home right there in the Republican Party. No, Pelosi's attacks really, over the last 7 months, seem to be focused on a core group of freshman, Democratic, progressive women. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib, to be exact. Recently, Nancy Pelosi sat down with Maureen Dowd from the New York Times, and when Dowd asked her about these 4 women who voted against Nancy Pelosi's deal she worked out with Donald Trump for border funding, Nancy Pelosi dismissed these 4 women who have had a huge impact on politics already and said, oh, it's like 4 people. Oh, who cares? Just 4 people. And yeah, they may have a big following on Twitter or whatever, but that's all they have. That's what Nancy Pelosi said. These 4 women who have come out, newly elected, only 6 months in office or so, absolutely changed the narrative, changed the focus in Washington, D.C. and the Democratic Party for the better. They're out there actually working on things. They're visiting these migrant detention facilities that we have on the border, documenting the horrid conditions, telling the public about them, coming up with great ideas like the Green New Deal, supporting Medicare for all. Oh, and they also all 4 supported Nancy Pelosi in her bid to be Speaker again when Democrats won back the House. And Pelosi has repeatedly attacked them. Now, Pelosi's chief of staff was out on Twitter this weekend, I guess attempting to do damage control, but instead he was just being a jackass to anyone who brought this story up. Said, oh, you're taking it out of context. You didn't read the whole quote. Well, here's the thing, man. We don't have to. You want to talk about context? Let's talk about the fact that this is what Nancy Pelosi has repeatedly done to this group of women since the 2018 midterm. It doesn't matter what the context was in which she was speaking to Maureen Dowd for this one specific quote, because we can look back at the historical context and see that this has become a pattern of behavior for Nancy Pelosi to go after these 4 women. A few months ago, when Nancy Pelosi was asked about the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, pushing the party to the left, Nancy Pelosi responded, what? That's like 5 people. Literally her response, oh, that's like 5 people. And the Green New Deal, or as she calls it, the Green whatever, that's awfully dismissive and derisive, right? This is what Pelosi does. Oh, but you can't criticize her, right? Because we all got to fight Trump, and any kind of, division in the Democratic Party is just awful bull. Nancy Pelosi's done. Nancy Pelosi should be out. Nancy Pelosi is not the fighter we need. The fighter we need is going to focus the fight on Donald Trump and the Republicans and on actually passing policy, which is pretty much exactly what these 4 progressive women are trying to do, and Pelosi's the one standing in the way. But hey, she did give us that great little clap to Donald Trump at the State of the Union, so right, she's totally on our side because she did that. I'm not kidding you. You go online, you see people making those arguments like, well, she did the clap. Y'all, god damn, seriously, piss me off with this. Nancy Pelosi is not a good leader. We knew that going into this. But you know what? We said, okay, we're going to give you one more shot. Maybe things are different. Well, they're not. She is spending more time attacking members of her own party than she is working on legislation, than she is fighting against Republicans who want to lock kids in cages, or fighting against one of the most corrupt administrations I've seen in my lifetime. She would rather go after these 4 progressive women because they represent a threat. And that threat is change. Change to the party that Nancy Pelosi has been attempting to lead and failing at that for years. They're the future. They're the new generation of leaders. But Nancy Pelosi's not ready to pass that gavel on yet. And she wants to have some kind of legacy. But her legacy after this speakership, much like her legacy after the last one, is going to be somebody who really didn't accomplish much of anything at all. I'll end with this. Let me ask you all this question. What does Nancy Pelosi stand for? What's her position on the biggest issues of the day? On healthcare, on impeachment, because she's going back and forth on that too, on the migrant detention facilities, on climate change, student loan debt. List could go on. Tell me, without having to look it up or dig through her website, where she actually stands on those issues. If she were a true leader, we would know off the top of our head, because these other four women, AOC, Tlaib, Presley, Omar, we know where they stand on all those issues. Pelosi, just a big giant question mark at this point. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.